Okay, so Enigma. I'm trying hard. I want an OTK for Class Constructed. Blitz, no worry, right? She is literally just an upgraded Melody. Her version of Final Act is literally 1 times greater than what Final Act does. So in that scenario, it's perfect, right? We can show it off right now. So we got Cash Out, that will activate the Transcend cards, which is perfect because we have the Tenant. We also have Cash In with the gold, so we'll do that to start. Go positive in hand, nice and easy. Then we'll cash out, we get 1 of the 3 visits, perfect. Cash out the crown, and we'll also cash out the null rune, but we won't worry about Uphold Tradition. Now, technically, I could have also played the 3 visits first, used Uphold Tradition to get the counter on it, and then got rid of it as well to have 1 extra silver, but I've also stacked the deck to not really need that, but it would be 1 more card in pitch. So technically an extra 3 damage per 3 visit. But we'll leave it as those 2, get our 2 silver. Then we will transcend our 2 cards, right? So Homage, gain the life. Again, we don't have to play them in conjunction because we played Cash Outs. We'll want the tome, so we'll actually cycle away the 3 visits for now. And then we can play Tenants, pitch the 2 in a Chi, float 2 resources, so that's neutral draw, right? We haven't lost any cards. Then we can pass, because I forgot we're all doing this while Cash Out is resolving. Then Mage Master, pass. And then Tome, off the resources, and make it a positive draw, right? And then we're fine to look for the last 3 visits off of the silver. So we don't actually have to transcend anything else. So we just double pitch our silver, get another cash out, that's fine. And then the last 3 visits. We put it into play, pitch any of the blues, done. Put the other one into play, do the exact same thing. And then with our last card remainder, we have exactly enough, right? So we can uphold tradition, pitch, float 2 resources, put a counter, 1 of the 3 visits, and now with both of them, we can happily swing. And the first one is doing 19, right? So that's a nice, juicy amount of damage. So even if they fully block from hand, right? Although, what do they have equipment-wise? 1, 2, 3. 3 extra block. So 13, right? So 13, and we would still get 15 across. So we'd still do 2 over lethal, as it is currently, right? So for Blitz, I do think Enigma, you could play her. I'm not saying it'd be great, but you could play her exactly like Melody, take the exact same line, except instead of using Final Act and Encore, you're just trying to get 2-3 visits out, right? It's 4 for 3 times the damage instead of 2 for 2 times the damage. So that's fine. I'm saying 4 instead of 3 because obviously you have to pay with Cosmos. Plus, then you'll want the tokens from either Uphold Tradition or say the Sacred Heart. The Sacred Heart, it's a bit more finicky, right? Because if you draw it before 3 visit, it's kind of dead, right? So Uphold Tradition is still probably the best bet. So I do think this is definitely viable for Blitz. Again, we could have added an extra 6 damage in total if we had Uphold Tradition first and I had an extra card in my deck, right, to pitch that 1 extra card with the 1 extra silver. So instead of 2 over lethal, it could have been 8 over lethal. So doing 43 damage, that would mean, is okay, right? It's feasible for Class Constructed. It's 1 hell of a turn, but it would not be an OTK, right? 42 is not an OTK. General rule of thumb that I use is 2 for each equipment piece as maximum, and then 3 on average for the hands. So that would be 12 block plus an extra 8, meaning that to effectively guarantee an OTK that is usable in most situations, Guardian, probably one of the biggest exceptions, would be about 60 damage. So the fact that we can only get to 43 as it is now is a bit of a problem. And the main reason for that is Enigma's lack of silver, right? Because we need Uphold Tradition, we need Mage Master, right? We still get the chest piece in the head, but we can't also cash out the weapon like Melody. So that's 2 extra silver gone, or an extra 12 damage that we've lost from the combo, right? Which would put it to 55, which is, again, getting closer. Now, there's a few different alternatives we could take that make it a bit more finicky. For instance, we could take the Crown of Reflection, which would allow us to cheat 1 3 visit in by sacrificing the other. Or we could also take the Celestial Kimono, which in conjunction with the Crown would allow us to then gain resource from cheating a 3 visits in. But altogether, I do think 3 visits is a nice, powerful card, and there's a chance to do enough damage. You can definitely set up, and you can definitely take a deck similar to Melody, such as this, as I unfortunately have to swap over to Talishar, right? It's nice fighting against a bot that fights back, but unfortunately none of the cards are updated yet over on Fabtcg. So back and forth, both have their wonderful aspects, and again, grateful to the devs for doing what they do. But yeah, we have basically a carbon copy of the Melody deck that I usually run with some Illusionist picks, right? So Shimmer of Silver, fantastic. A, it's blue, so it feeds into what we're trying to do, which is just eventually pitch away, but also is something on board to soak an entire attack, which is fantastic, right? Otherwise, it's just way too threatening for the opponent to leave up. There's also 10,000 Year Reunion, which again, with Shimmers or some of the other counter generation, right? This could be a free just block 10 damage potentially, or just another big threat that again the opponent has to deal with as a priority. Now, it being red is sort of the disadvantage, but overall the idea of the deck would be to set up more silver, because again, just off of the combo pieces we actually utilized, right, we can generally hit around 43-ish, right? So 43 plus every silver is an extra 6. So if we can get that up to 60, right, through some picker cards, through some amulets on board that we can cash out, then we can have a much better go at it. The question is, and I've always been curious with Melody, is how many turns does the 40 HP actually afford us? Turn off manual mode, since we're not actually testing. Well, we are testing, but we're not testing, right? So this is actually a pretty nice opener too, because we have pick a card. So straight away, we can do that, see if we generate any silver. I'm just going to pick randomly, right? Plus, you also get to read your opponent's hand, which is super valuable, especially in someone like Enigma, right? I can try and be a bit more aggressive. Well, not with this hand, but I can try and be a bit more aggressive overall. So the cash in, I could probably stash. You might as well swing with the Moon Wish anyway. Just do something. Pass, put that on top. That was actually probably a bad call. I should have pitched it away, in all honesty. Pass, do a little bit of damage. Find a Sunkiss, because it hits, apparently. Pass, and then Arsenal to cash in. Right? I mean, God, it's kind of telling me to go for it straight away. 60 cards, though, is also a disadvantage overall when it comes to this type of combo, right? So in Melody, drawing through 40 cards is a lot easier. Drawing through 60 cards is a bit more of a hassle. But yeah, the gist would be just to silver, and then go for the big payoff. Now, what Enigma actually really does well is just have these massive things for your opponents to really worry about, right? Again, whether or not we're using 3 visits to this caliber, the fact that, again, I pitch 1 card, so in 3, pitch 2, 6, 3, and all of a sudden it's doing 9, right? 9 with a counter, plus then what have those 3 other cards gone into? Maybe a 10,000 year. It's 19 on board, which is fantastic. You then also have the 10 ward plus probably some other stuff to protect the 3 visits, or just let 3 visits go anyway. So they did rule 3 visits. When it's ward 0, it will just pop, right? It will soak 0 damage and pop. So that is something to be cautious of. You can't just put on board and it's, you know, protected as long as you don't pitch blue. That would have been a fantastic but very gimmicky use, right? And it's much better this way overall. But yeah, overall, OTK and Enigma, it's something I want to strive for, but it's also something that you really just doesn't need. Again, there's so many big options for you to take and use in conjunction. But yeah, the basic gimmick of this is, again, all we're doing is trying to survive and, oh, that could have been a good one, and generate silver. I mean, we got 1, that's fine. Hyper Driver? No. Right, so even now we could start using cash in to cycle. We'd pass. If we get, you know, some more draw like that, it's probably time to give it a go, even if it doesn't actually pay off. Let's see. So we can go positive, pay with silver, pass. We can go positive again, pay with gold, pass. Fortunately, we're drawing the Art of Wars, which are a little bad, and no blue yet. So at this point, it would probably be Mage Master, pitch away, pass, and then Tome, pass. 2 Brothers in Arms, We're not having any luck. At least we can Art of War them, right? Banish, buff, pass. I mean, your draw range as Mystic is still kind of insane. There's the Tenant. If only I could play the Amulet of Echo just to trigger that. That would actually kind of be good. We could just get rid of the Sacred Art. What to do? That is the question. Well, we're just trying to draw through the deck, so you know what? We're going to do Amulet. Pass, because if I get cash out, then that's worthwhile anyway. Homage, pass. Then off the Chi, we can do the Tenant. Actually, the better use is to do the Sacred Art first. Even though we don't get the tokens, we get the Spectral Shield, which are nice enough. Pass, get Chi back. And then Tenant off the Brothers in Arm and hope that we get some more. Is the look of it, apparently. That was probably a bad call, but we got rewarded with levels. So now we can go Art of War, Banish, buff. Does buff even matter? No. Yes. No. Attack action cards, they're weapons. No, it does not matter. We can do that. Pass. We could also just use Levels of Enlightenment at this point, which is probably the better play, right? Because it would have pressured an extra 5 damage. But yeah, as you can see, this is already sort of getting out of hand. And that's what we like to see, because it is something crazy, like 1 in 3 cards is a draw ability in Mystic, and that is number of equipment, non-token. Yeah, no, okay, they should not be selectable. Okay, screw this. I'm generating a ton of Spectral Shield, and then we're cashing it out. Because Cosmos makes them weapons. That just clicked. Cosmos makes them weapons. Okay, that makes OTK with 3 visits insanely easier. We'll definitely cash in. Go back positive in hand. I only really need 1 3 visit. I mean, there's 10,000 year reunion. We don't really care for it anyway. But yeah, then we just cycle away with the silver. Keep stacking up the pitch. If we could get Chi, that's a nice way to cheat in the 10,000 year, right? We'd also still use levels at this point. Choices. What to do. Either way, we just, want to stack the pitch. So we'll just cycle. There's another blue, that's fine. So we can play 3 visits. We'll get rid of the reds. Pass. I know they don't count, right? Yeah, because it's 3 times the blue cards. But it should still be pretty nice damage now. God, that took way too long to click. So it's still a 25 3 visits, but I found the angle I was looking for. Create a bunch of Spectral Shield tokens, and you can cash them out. So, yeah, you can literally do Enigma's normal game plan, generate a bunch of auras, and when you're ready to go for the combo, you just cash everything out, and you sift through your deck, you find a 3 visit, and you swing with it. Okay, well, I guess there's going to be a part 2 to this. I've got some thinking to do, so hope you enjoyed. So yeah. Okay. Sorry. We should probably go over this, because this feels like a somewhat oversight, right? So as an additional cost to play cash out, you may destroy any number of weapons. Now, again, I'm not big illusionist player, so has this been utilized previously, right? Because obviously there are other weapons that make auras weapons. You have the Iris and you have the Reality Reflector, right? Those 2 cards, which do make auras weapons. Now I need to actually look into this. Illusionist's weapon should find it for me, please. I spell everything correct? Yeah, Iris of Reality and Reality Refractor. So you control weapons and weapons, yeah. So I know obviously Luminaris is taking a lot more often, but yeah, this is very interesting, because obviously the non-token clause on cash out, I don't know why it still came up, but thank you, is on items, right? So it's any number of weapons, regardless of whether or not they're token or not, equipment, whether they're token or not, and or non-token items. So, it's an interesting loophole, we'll call it for now, right? There is definitely stuff you can do with this, because again, the board that Enigma makes is absolutely insane. And the ability to then cash it out, again, have 1/3 of the deck be draw cards, and then the other third be handled through silver and pitching, right? Because say silver draws through, again, ridiculous amount, say 20 cards. To draw through 20 cards, you've had to pitch 20 cards. That's 2/3 of the deck sorted. So technically the range on this is perfect. And again, you just stick to Enigma's normal game plan. You take a more heavy blue basis, although I'm sure that's already being done. You cash out, and then you just look for 3 visits to clutch you the win. That is actually a reliable, from the onlook, right? Reliable combo scenario to actually be a win condition of the deck, and that is fantastic. So I'm going to build around this, but I do think that is somewhat of an oversight, because that is access to a ton of shenanigans. Right? I haven't heard of it before. I haven't seen it before. Again, I don't play Illusionist, so if you have done this before, if you have seen this in actual proper play, paper play even, fantastic. Because, again, it seems like something that shouldn't be a thing, but wording-wise, it's perfect. Anyway, we'll leave it there. See ya.